Waving?
No.
There, he's moving over there. There we go. Okay.
Small wave.
Let me call this April 2nd meeting of the Mount Airy Town Council to order. Let's start with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now we actually have no speakers on the agenda tonight, but we do have a special guest speaker. Judge Richard Titus is here, asked to address the council. Richard, one of the finest attorneys I ever worked with, and one of our former town attorneys.
Good evening.
And just one thing, in this room, the gavel's mine.
Fair enough. Good evening, members of the council, Mr. President Health, and I know Mayor Rockenberg's not here. I appreciate the opportunity to address you here tonight. The reason I'm here is, I assure you, while I've never fancied myself a politician, I nonetheless am facing an election coming up here. And what I have found is that many people are unaware of how the circuit court election process works and how a person goes about getting appointed to the circuit court. So recognizing that I'm a Carroll County Circuit Court judge, to those of you who are on the Frederick County side of town, you can just tune out and not worry about this for a few minutes. I'm really focusing on the Carroll County side. But by way of background, obviously I've had the pleasure of representing the town, clients before the town for years. I was an attorney in Westminster for almost 25 years. About 2 years ago, Governor Hogan appointed me to fill a vacancy on the circuit court for Carroll County. The appointment process is very different than the election process, and that's really the purpose of why I'm here tonight. As I see Tom McCarron, your town attorney, nodding his head, and I know Peter, as an attorney, understands this very well, but I think many folks who aren't in the legal community don't understand the difference. To get appointed to a circuit court position, it's very different. It's a process where the governor makes the appointment, but he doesn't do so blindly. There is a nomination commission that is appointed, the trial court's nominating commission, that is 13 members of the community, business owners, former community leaders. In fact, some from the town of Mount Airy were on the commission in my case, as well as attorneys who were appointed to the commission. That commission, upon receiving applications, goes through and does an intense amount of scrutiny and screening of all the applicants, the purpose being that they submit to the governor what lawyers jokingly refer to the short list of applicants, where they go through the qualifications of the applicants and try to vet out and find the ones that they find are the most highly qualified people for the position. In my case, 9 people applied for the vacancy. The commission is required to send 3 names to the governor. In my case, they sent 4 names down, 2 men, 2 women. Once the commission does their work, they interview every person, do a full background check. They take information from, I think there's 9 or 10 specialty bar associations across the state of Maryland, all of whom interview the applicants. It's a fairly comprehensive process. Once the governor gets the information, he then interviews and meets separately with each applicant, and only after that scrutiny process is concluded does the governor make his decision. In my case, this was the first time I'd applied, and I was fortunate enough to get selected by the governor. Now, notably, when you get that good news that you've achieved what is a significant event in your career to become a judge, the first thing I have to do is give up the law practice that I spent 25 years developing and begin sitting as a judge. They call you a sitting judge. So that's what I did to get to where I am. The reason I'm here tonight is sort of the accidental politician, introducing myself to you and asking for your support and to explain to the citizens the process, is that you're required to stand in a retention election in the next general election following your appointment. In my case, I've been sitting since February 1st of 2016. The election's coming up this June. And as is their right under the Constitution, 2 attorneys have chosen to file for election. Now, in contrast to what I went through to get appointed, to file for election, you basically need to be a member of the Maryland Bar and have the $50 filing fee in your pocket. Once you pay the $50 fee, you're on the ballot, and you have just as good a chance as getting elected as I do. And in my case, I've had 2 individuals who have chosen to file. There are any number of reasons why people choose to go this route. Oftentimes, it's folks who could not get through the commission process where they were not found highly qualified. Some folks have it for different reasons. I'm not going to talk about my opponents, but I will say each of them have applied unsuccessfully before, one 4 times, the other once. This is the one and only time I applied, and I was fortunate enough to be selected that time. So they have just as good a chance as getting the position as I do, but there's a drastic difference as far as the level of scrutiny that goes through the appointment process. Now, these folks, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a politician, and to show how much I'm not a politician, I'm not accepting funds from people for fundraising. I'm not going out there and trying to paper the county with signs and the like. I'm just trying to leverage the connections and contacts I know for people throughout the county, and ask that hopefully you can find that based on the process I went through, that I'd be the most qualified person for the job. It's strange, it's a nonpartisan election, so I'm on both of the primary ballots, Democrat and Republican. It's further strange because they don't list you as the incumbent or the sitting judge. It simply says vote for one. And in my case, I had the dubious distinction of being last alphabetically on the ballot. So my name is last. I keep telling people sort of jokingly that they save the best for last. I hope people can remember that. That is really the reason I came here tonight, is to explain a little bit about the process, the differences between the appointment process and the election process. And if you're so inclined, I'd ask for those who are Carroll County side of town, I'd ask for your vote, and better yet, if you're so inclined, go tell 20 of your friends who are registered voters, because that's how these races are won, is through word of mouth. I do have, and I had to do the official politician thing with a website, so it's retainjudgetitus.com. If you're interested in looking at anything about my background, you can find it there. But other than that, that's the only reason I came down. It's great to be back here in Mount Airy, albeit for a different reason. So it's very nice to see everyone who I was acquainted with before, and I hope I could ask for your support going forward. Okay?
I've got one curious question on how the balloting system works. Since you're on both primary ballots, both the Democrat and Republican primary ballot, is that correct?
Yes.
Let's say you win on one and lose on another.
It goes to the general election.
If you win on both, then there's no general election.
Well, I'd be the only candidate on the general
that
election.
That was okay. Interesting. Okay.
If you don't win both, then it goes the full distance to the general. So that's how the process works. It's a little unusual.
Yeah, it is an odd one.
It's the only, and this is not talking about the Orphans Court. The Orphans Court is a probate court where you don't even need to be an attorney to be serving as a judge there. But for the general jurisdiction courts in Maryland, the district court, the circuit court, and the 2 appeals courts, this is the only branch of the judiciary that has an election like this. The other ones all just have a vote yes or no to keep them in office. This is the only level that allows people to file and challenge the person. So it's a bit unusual. That's why I'm trying to get around to each one of the municipalities and explain the background of it, and hope I can ask for your support as well. All right?
Certainly. We appreciate you coming down here. Wish you the best, and I can just tell you, as an attorney, having worked with Judge Titus for a number of years in the town, this is exactly the type of individual we need serving on the court. No question in my mind.
I appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you very much. You all have a good night.
Thank you.
You too. And we have one more local guest. We have Dr. Paul Burkett here. I think you're running for a Carroll County Commissioner, right?
Yes, sir.
You want to come up and address us quickly on that one? Welcome back to Town Hall.
Thank you very much. It is great to be among friends. My name, Mr. Mayor, who is not here, President Help, ladies and gentlemen, my name, for the record, is Paul Burkett. I live at 8101 Bennett Branch Road, Mount Airy. For those of you that remember Pathways, that is south of Interstate 70. So, to be precise, and I've lived there for about 40 years. I want to thank you for the time you've given me. I think, Mr. Hutt, you told me to keep it under 45 minutes.
That was 45 seconds.
Whatever. Anyway, I've had a dental practice for about 38 years right here in the community on the corner of Route 27 and Watersville Road. And now I've been retired for about 20 months. I've loved my patients, and I've loved my staff, and I've loved my freedom in retirement. So how much better can it get? Well, I know a lot of, I've had friends that I have or have had that have been in public office. They put a lot of time, effort, energy. They suffered a lot of headaches over the years serving in my behalf, my family's behalf, and actually for every one of us. So I know it can be a thankless job. Maybe you guys are aware of that, maybe not. So what am I here for? Well, Peter, you already stole my thunder, but however, I'm going to go through here for the next 40 minutes or so. And after some encouragement and perhaps some friendly persuasion from some of my dear friends, I believe it's time to give back to the community and give back to Carroll County. So I've decided to run for County Commissioner in District 4. And I'm sure glad I don't have the convoluted thing that Mr. Titus has, but at any rate, I will represent Mount Airy and I will represent the district. Most importantly, I'll represent Carroll County and the United States Constitution. I hope wish all the best luck to Mr. Titus. I know of Mr. Titus, and I hope he is successful. And I'll be available at the chili cook-off, and all support will be graciously accepted and appreciated. And again, I want to thank you all.
Wish you the best. It's good to have somebody really, really local.
A real Mount Airy?
Yes, yes.
A real Rotary Club member.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm on the Frederick, I'm on the Frederick side of town, so I can't actually vote for either of you, but
we can encourage our Carroll
we
County
can encourage our Carroll County friends.
Yep.
All right, up next, approval of the council minutes. I'm going to move we approve both the open meeting minutes and the closed meeting minutes. Do I have a second? Looks like Bob's waving up a second. Any questions or discussion? Larry?
I did have one amendment on community concern citizen comments, where it says Mr. Bill Nell spoke to the town council about his opposition of rails to trails going through his property. I was wondering if we could change that after the word opposition to a permanent town easement granting pedestrian access through its property. I just think that's more accurately what he rejected.
I don't have an objection to that. Anybody
I
else?
don't have a problem with that.
All right, I will reintroduce with that change. Bob, you seconding? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Looked like that was unanimous. Oops, got on the wrong form. All right, police report. Chief.
Good evening, everybody. It's Chief Reitz with the Mount Airy Police Department. I'll be presenting the chief's report. During the month of March, we attended approximately 7 different trainings and meetings. Some of those trainings involved training for the LexisNexis Accurate Virtual Crime Center, which basically is a database that we'll be using to assist us in our investigations, and it helps basically with intelligent-led policing and so forth to help us with locating suspects and all that. We attended a Cub Scout Blue and Gold banquet for PAC 460. We also learned how to hula dance a little bit, so if you caught that on Facebook, you know, we did the best we could. I can tell you the mayor's really got some moves. He did great.
That was St. Patrick's Day, wasn't it?
Yes, that was
Okay.
St. Patrick's Day, yep. Attended a Main Street Master Plan meeting. We attended the Frederick County Chiefs of Police meeting at the National Emergency Training Center. We had a planning meeting with the Mid-Maryland Celtic Festival folks. And Sergeant Snyder attended a week's worth of training for patrol rifle school. So now he recently completed firearms instructor school and patrol rifle school. So now he will be able to train the whole entire department in its firearms. Community outreach, we've been working on planning our first inaugural annual National Night Out. Special thanks goes out to our community services volunteer Wayne Harris and our own Heather Smith, who's been helping him as well, doing a lot of stuff with that. And that's slated for August 7th, 2018, from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. It will be at the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company Carnival Grounds, and we're also having them participate with us this year, which would be great. It'll bring more unity to the police department and the fire company as well. So be looking for that. We'll be working on that in the near future. overdose summary for the town, we had 4 overdoses this month, one of which the officers administered naloxone to the victim, and 2 others that EMS administered naloxone as well. As far as statistical data for the department, this month on traffic enforcement, we had 63 citations, 137 warnings, 28 equipment repair orders with a total of 163 traffic stops. We made 5 DUI arrests. We had 2 traffic arrests, which related to like driving while suspended type charges. As far as calls for service, we handled 1,225 calls for service. We made 9 criminal arrests, and we issued 4 civil citations, and we took 59 incident reports during the month. So it's been a fairly busy month for us. So that will be the chief's. Does anybody have any questions? That will be the chief's report for this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
All right, Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company. I see Bruce sitting out there.
Yes.
Thought he was getting out of this job.
You're stuck with me. Okay, summary report for March. We had rescue calls. We had 114 in Carroll, 51 in Frederick, 12 in Howard, 1 in Montgomery, for a total of 178 rescue EMS calls. Fire calls, we had 14 in Carroll, 4 in Frederick, 3 in Howard, 2 in Montgomery, for a total of 23, which resulted in 128 calls for service in Carroll, 55 in Frederick, 15 in Howard, and 3 in Montgomery, for a total of 201 incidences. We have some activities coming up. This coming Sunday, the 8th, will be another chicken barbecue. We were overwhelmed with our first one. And we apologize for the people that had to wait, but I think we're going to have 2 grills going and things. So we were sold out with the first load almost instantaneously. So hopefully people will be coming out and we'll have a little better operation, but it takes time to get that up and running. On the 15th will be our usual breakfast, and on the 27th, if you're short on cash, you get a good chance to get some more because we'll have a cash bingo. And that concludes our report.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, up now we have community concerns, citizen comments. If there's any topic that anybody wants to address the council on, just ask you to come up to the podium and line up there, and we'll hear what you have to say. And Dick, even though we know who you are, identify yourself.
Dick Swanson, I'm with the Mount Airy Main Street Association. Just want to remind everybody, this Saturday is the chili cook-off, 10 to 4 p.m. It's a rain or shine event because we have competitors coming in from a number of states. So the weather forecast is a little bit iffy, but it seems every day it's improved slightly. So we hope by Saturday it's even better. There's also a cornhole event. That one is a little dependent on the weather because you can't really play competitive cornhole when your bags are all wet. It doesn't work too well. But there's going to be kids' activities, vendors, there'll be a beer tent for everybody. So come on down Saturday between 10 and 4. I point out that tasting for chili is at 12 for the salsa, 1 o'clock for green, and 2 o'clock is red chili. And there's also going to be a competition amongst, I think there's about a dozen local restaurants.
I'm a judge on that one.
Every year Peter judges. And
Yeah, that's fun.
I can't figure out whether he comes to judge the chili or it's where you have to wash down the chili with the beer.
Yeah, you do get all you can drink beer to go with the chili when you're a judge.
That's right. So I encourage you to come on down and have a good time.
Wonderful event. Yeah,
Thank you, Dick.
And I want to explain to people how it works, because I will hear from people, they'll say, oh, I came and I only got a few samples. What you need to do is come early, buy your chili sampling kit. You walk down the street, you're going to get maybe 2 or 3 samples. You wait a few minutes, you turn around, you come back down the street. You'll pick up 2 or 3 different samples. Wait a few minutes, walk down the street the other way. And you do this over the course of like 2.5 hours, because all the chilies get ready at different times.
So you're saying it's a marathon, not a sprint?
Yes. You do not expect to come down here, walk down once, and sample 25 chilies, because
This is
all
a veteran taster.
the chili cooks get ready at all different times. So you need to be prepared to do that. It's a blast of an event. We always have a good time. So I always appreciate MAMSA doing that. And I just want to also say thanks. Dick and I had a great time hiding eggs at the Extravaganza Friday night. I think we had about 300 people down here, a lot of great prizes. And, you know, people following Dick and I around as we're hiding eggs. But Ashley did a great job with that. So any other citizen concerns, citizen comments? All right, let's jump into the agenda. Ordinance 2018-6, budget amendment to take money out of the park's capital budget for Watkins Park Ball Field, because we're just plain not going to spend it this year. This is here for adoption. I will so move it. Do I have a second? Second?
It's pretty straightforward.
Any particular discussion? Larry, kind of your department, any?
No, other than the fact that, you know, we'll be applying for a grant and try to get through this next year.
Okay.
Yep.
No discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Looks unanimous. We are not going to bring the budget in for introduction tonight. We are going to do that at whatever date we pick for the budget workshop. We'll have a very short budget session to introduce that, and then we'll roll on from there. It just really wasn't, it's, the budget cycle this year is a lot more intense than it was before, because we have a police department, all these extra things. So our timing is stretching out a little.
So the mayor wanted to communicate to you that he's recommending that we keep the constant rate.
Yes, that's actually in,
Tax
yes,
rate,
yeah.
the same as last year.
Yes, the recommendation will be the constant rate, same exact tax dollars as we had last year, which means that since we do not reassess your property, I know a lot of people don't realize that, but your town assessment has been frozen since sometime like 1999. At least as long as I've been here, we've never raised the assessed value of your property. So your tax from the town will be exactly the same dollars as last year. As a matter of fact, over the years, we've brought it down bit by bit. And I would say we're the only jurisdiction that does that, despite the fact that if we, even if we have to do that, we will probably have to advertise under the state code that we're raising your taxes. That's because the state does not grasp the concept of us not reappraising your properties every year. The state is constantly raising your assessment every year. So if we were doing that, yeah, then your taxes would be going up, but we're not. But we are the only governmental entity, I think, in the state that does not increase assessments. So we kind of throw a wrench into their system, and we have to say we're raising taxes when we're really not, because of the way their system works. All right. 2018-3, approval of allocation of the town's available water sewer capacity yield among the allocation categories. This is something that's required to be done, I think, every 2 years. It started in water and sewer several months back. Despite what some people may have thought, water and sewer's recommendation was not to add any more water to the allocation. We basically said the exact same amount of water we had available 2 years ago is what we have available now, less what we've given out. And that went to planning, and our town engineer Barney got together, and they decided what categories to put that money into. Barney, you have anything you want to address on this?
Water.
Yeah, put the water.
Put the water into, right.
Right. And the only thing we did was we had just a little bit left over after the 3 residential developments were allocated water. We had about 4,000 some gallons per day, and we didn't have anything in new industrial, and we have a potential new industrial coming down on Twin Arch Road, so we want to move 3,500 gallons per day into that category and a little bit more into redevelopment and revitalization, because that's where we've been pulling from the last 2 years. So
Okay.
that's about it. Those are the only changes from
I will
2
move
years ago.
we accept the resolution as recommended from planning. Bob?
Yeah, just to be advised, planning has given us a positive a positive recommendation. So they'd like to see this happen. And I will second your motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Vote unanimous. All right, this one we had our table tonight. This is the 2018-4. This is the resolution for us to join the, well, we always call it LEOPS, but it's Law Enforcement Officers Pension System. Okay, I knew it was law enforcement something or other. And this was always planned. It's just a matter of passing the resolution to
Right.
do it. I will move it.
Second. And Pat had ended up sending an email, which I think we all got, just saying that it's the normal thing. I think, Doug, you can talk more about it if you need to.
It's a standard.
Right, right.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
standard,
standard.
right. And this was always the plan. We just, at some point, in order for our officers to get into the system, we have to pass this resolution. When we started the whole police system, this was the plan, so. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Vote unanimous. We have no unfinished business. We will move on to new business. We need to set a budget workshop date. And there will be a very short open meeting, either at the beginning or the end of that meeting, in order to technically introduce the budget and all of that, so we can vote on it at our
But
May
it's gotta
meeting.
be this month, right?
Yes.
Yes, because we're voting on this at our May meeting.
Yeah, this has to happen.
My only concern is I gotta get the ad in. I have no problem waiting till whenever, but I've gotta get the ad in. 15 days is my, before the
Window.
council meeting, next council.
Okay, so first half of this month.
Yes.
All right.
That's what you're shooting for.
Well, I want to see what staff may think.
Hey, Larry and I have been coming to chili cook-off meetings on Sunday afternoons, and town hall is available at that time.
At the chili cook-off? Peter isn't, though.
Yeah, I'm not available Sunday afternoons. I mean, I heard somebody throw out,
16th, 17th, 18th of April.
well, I think 16th is out for Charlene.
I have a procedure.
Right,
that-
right, so I knew the
I
6th.
can reschedule if I need to.
No.
16th, MAMSA has, I realize that we would be
Ma'am says
bumping
meeting.
somebody
Okay.
out, but I think the
says the
16th is a
meeting.
MAMSA meeting.
17th is, I mean, good for me, it's tax day, but, you know, I don't wait and do my taxes that day anyways.
17th, I'm good.
I'm good.
17th, I'm good.
Sounds like the 17th.
Okay, sounds like 17th.
It might be
It's a
beautification
Tuesday.
might be going on. Yes, beautification. Yeah.
But almost any night we're gonna clash with somebody.
Somebody's gonna get it bumped.
Do we want to do one of those meetings where we start it early and we just bring our dinner with us? You know, I'll run up to Arby's and bring my,
Yes, please.
Yeah,
And you
we've
guys
done-
stare at
I
the
think
amount of
the
food
last
I eat?
couple of years
What
we've
time are you
done-
starting it?
We have a
Last couple of years
Five?
we've done, yeah.
But before we.
well, I
commit
gotta
to
know
that-
what time you guys think you can make it. I mean, for me, it's
5:30.
it's across the street.
5:30, 6 o'clock's the earliest I can make it.
6 o'clock then.
Is the 18th out?
Yes, because there's my commission.
Okay. So we're gonna hit one anyway. So, okay, 17th.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna do 17th, yeah.
Tell Tina I'm sorry.
It's a
I just
beautification
didn't wanna
mission.
So
bump
we're
out
gonna
a
do it at
beautification.
5:30
So,
5:30 or
The
6
third
o'clock?
week of every month is every day.
or
is
6
something.
o'clock.
Okay.
I'm fine either way.
It's- what do we
6
want?
o'clock.
6
6
o'clock.
6 o'clock it is.
So I'll do a press release.
Yeah.
So 6 o'clock on the 17th. 17th, 6 o'clock? Yeah, 17th, 6 o'clock.
17th at 6 o'clock, and there'll be a short meeting, open meeting,
Open meeting.
only to basically say, I introduced this. Somebody will say they second, and then the meeting will be done, so that we can technically then vote on it at the May meeting, without it having to be an emergency. All right,
Make sure. If for some reason Pat has a concern with that,
email around and we'll sort it out.
okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, email around and we'll sort it out. That's not, I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a request to close the streets for the Fireman's Parade. We have the standard letter here. I will move that we close the streets as recommended.
I'll second.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. We've also got a request here to close the streets, Cottonwood Avenue for the yearly Cubmobile races. Scott, you gonna move that one in?
Yeah, I'll move it in.
All right,
Is somebody second? I'll second.
okay.
I have a question. Is that done every year? Because I've never gotten
yeah.
in on that one.
That is, as long as I can remember, we've closed that street for this
Yeah.
Cubmobile race.
All right, okay, cool. So,
At least as long as I've been here.
okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Jason, were you an aye?
Aye, yes.
Okay. Okay, moving on to our mayor and council reports. Since the mayor's not here, I think he's sending his out. He does, however, have appointments and reappointments. He's recommending Heather Michael Hobbs. It's actually Hobbs, it's the other way around, isn't it?
Heather Hobbs Michael.
Yeah, it's backwards, Hobbs Michael, right, yeah, okay. Okay, Heather Hobbs Michael be appointed to Parks and Rec, and that we reappoint Oliver Davis to Board of Appeals. I will move that both of those be accepted. Is that a second, Bob?
Yes, it is.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. And that would be for the mayor. Okay, beautification, Parks and Rec. Larry?
All right, beautification didn't meet due to the Hall of Fame dinner, and then it was due to the snow. So it was a tough Tuesday this month. They are discussing plans for a bee and butterfly pollinator garden in the Windy Ridge Park, and their next meeting will be April 17th at 7 p.m. somewhere here in Town Hall.
That upstairs conference room.
It might be up in the map room or something. On the Parks and Rec side, the skate park dominated the discussion with about 6 users of the park attending the Parks and Rec meeting. No decisions were made on recommendations that would come to the council from the meeting, but the discussion will continue in April. The skate park is in pretty rough condition, and we're nearing the end of its life expectancy. So we have to explore options on what we're going to do with that.
I went out and walked it the other day, you know, just to, because I hadn't walked it in a few years. I don't skateboard anymore.
Mhm.
I did it one time, okay?
Yeah.
I still have a board, actually. But really what it looked largely to me that it needed was just new skate light in a lot of places. I mean, most of it looked like it was sound, but the skate light was busting up.
Well, that's not totally accurate. There's a lot of screws that have been moved in by an inch or so because all the substructure of it is failing.
Okay.
So all the 2x4s and stuff that are up underneath it are starting to wear out. So they're having to move screws around, and you know it's just one of those
like I
things.
said, look at the substructure. I could just tell the skate light was clearly breaking up.
Yeah.
Although I was interested to see, we clearly have pieces there that are much larger than what you see at the other parks. So I think that was kind of interesting. We do offer something a little different than what the other guys have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it was Parks and Rec. We'll be discussing it again in April.
Look forward to hearing the report.
They'll see if there's something going on. We also, Sean, can I talk about we're going to be losing our parks manager after about 8 months. So hate to lose him, but he's moving on to bigger and better things. So congratulations on your new job, but we're going to miss him. Let's see, we reviewed the Carroll County Bike Ped Plan, and we removed the portions in that did not correspond to our master plan, and we sent that recommendation to planning, and they made those recommendations as well. We shifted focus on rails to trails to the Town View portion of the existing trail, and of course we're still trying to get the soil samples and everything done on CSX. Staff has been doing a good job with all that. We discussed the replacement and progress of the Twin Arch Crossing basketball court, and every time we put a temporary hoop up there, the wind gets it and destroys it. So actually I went out there on Sunday and put another one up. And I got rid of the junkyard I created with the 2 broken posts and put those in the recycle area for steel. But we're still waiting on that memorandum of understanding, which in order to get it, we need Brittany Manor to move forward. So that's kind of where we're tripping on ourselves. Okay, and let's see, several parks members and the staff met to discuss the location of the fitness equipment and the stretching station at Watkins Park, and we did pick a location that's between the parking lot and the skate park. And then Pat was working with Sean to figure out some budget maneuvering so we could pour a concrete slab over there and get those pieces of equipment. We already have the pieces of equipment, we just got to get them installed. Already talked about the chili cook-off, and the next meeting will be April 19th here at Town Hall.
All right, great. EDC planning. Bob?
Okay, the downtown master plan, the steering committee and the vendor that we chose are working on a meeting schedule. We've discussed a charrette, and I believe a charrette made it into the mix. When you see these notifications for these meetings, please come so that you can get your opinion in there, in the mix. If you don't come and say it, nobody else is going to stand up for you. Okay, and I've got the chili cook-off will be this Saturday, 10 to 5. I believe it's going to be our largest one ever.
25 cooks.
Is that where we're at? 25 cooks?
Yes.
We have 25 cooks, 12 green chili, I think.
We're up to 14.
Okay. Ooh, that's a lot. And the green chilies are really good. That's really, see, Jason's going, yeah. That's something you wouldn't think about. I mean, but you try the green chilies. That's really unique.
Well, and then they have salsa cooks too, and I've got us at 12 salsa cooks.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we're up to 13 on that.
All right.
So it's up every day. Take advantage of the free parking at the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company's Carnival Grounds and the free shuttle to and from the downtown chili cook-off. Be ready. The farmers markets will be coming soon to the rail yard. Beginning May 16th, I believe, through September the 26th, every Wednesday, 3 to 7 p.m. EDC welcomed Pam Reed and Elmer Bailey as new commission members at the meeting on March the 28th. The professional development series called The Resourceful Entrepreneur has proven to be very popular. Tuesday morning breakfast meetings are at 8 till 9:30. Check it out. They're having 25 and 30 people at each one of these meetings.
They're packed in here when I come by Tuesday morning. I mean, they've got all they can, they fill every inch of this room.
We're having a Mount Airy Restaurant Week, April 22nd through April the 29th. Details on the town website. Melissa and Ashley are working on that together, I think. We also have a buy local campaign in the beginning planning stages. There's something else we're going to try to do. Next EDC meeting will be April the 25th, 7 p.m. at Town Hall. Our Planning Commission meeting was on Monday, March the 26th. A public hearing on the recommendation for the division of allocation categories and water and sewer capacity yield recommended that the Town Council keep the same percentage and category allocation as in 2016, which we just voted in. A discussion on the Green Tree subdivision with the new MXU-CC zoning involved lots of citizen input. There are a lot of people here and they talked about it, and an eventual recommendation to approve by the Board of Appeals. Hearing before the board is being scheduled now. Water testing was completed at Harrison-LaShire. Reports are expected shortly. And a meeting's been being scheduled with IDA, and the next Planning Commission meeting's on April the 30th at 7 p.m. And that is my report.
Thank you.
Hey, Bob, do you want to expound, please, on the charrettes? Because, I mean, that's going to be an important part of it, and a lot of people don't know what that is.
Well, okay, we're limited knowledge here because I've never been to a charrette myself, but it's what I understand. It's 4 days where they're going to this company's going to have 4 or 5 of their planning staff, say, in here or at some location where they're going to be operating from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the evening. This will be a flowing, wild kind of meeting.
It's an open design studio.
Yeah, see, there's people that
Studio.
people that understand all that stuff.
The consultants will be here from 9 in the morning until 9 p.m. There'll be some small group breakouts to talk about specific issues and specific concerns on the downtown master plan. But it's a very fluid.
And I will be at my first charrette on whatever day that is that I come. But thank you.
Instead of the workshop meetings or the
Yeah, right, that's instead of a workshop. It is kind of like an open workshop. Doc?
And it'll serve a purpose to be a large open meeting, a
Right.
continuous open meeting to the public, rather than
Yes.
scheduled ones where people's schedule may not fit.
Right, you can come in any time during the day and get your thing done. So that's the idea, is to have just
Yeah.
big open windows over a course
All
of
the
days.
people that leave Mount Airy, they can come in the evening. All the people that stay in Mount Airy can come during the daytime if they choose.
All right. Jason, Sanitation Recycling and Sustainable Maryland.
Our last meeting was canceled due to the snowstorm, but just a couple events to highlight. Our shredding battery recycle event is June 2nd from 9 to 12 at Watkins Park. We are participating in the National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. That will happen April 28th and will occur at the police station. But just as a side note, we always have a drop-off box there, so you don't always have to wait till the actual drug take-back day. You can go up there and drop off your medications whenever you would like.
Our police will always take your drugs.
It actually looks like a big mailbox. You don't even have to talk to anybody. Just drop them in and walk out.
And it's become a drive-up, so the last time we did it up there, it became drive-up, where
Yeah.
Pete Ballas and a few of the other
Yep.
members of the Sanitation Recycling Commission were there and took your drugs.
Yep.
You didn't have to get out of your car.
You got it. Prescription drugs.
Prescription drugs, right?
It's amazing the poundage.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
It's really a great public service.
Yep. We are doing bulk pickup. That is April 28th. And my next meeting will be Sustainable Mount Airy Commission meeting, which will be April 18th at 7 p.m. And that concludes my report.
All right. Streets and roads.
So streets and roads, very short and brief. We did not have a meeting this last month. Our meeting is this month on the 26th at Town Hall at 7:30.
All right.
That's it.
Water and sewer, basically, we dealt with our water allocation thing today. The only other thing coming out of water and sewer is we did not have a recommendation to raise the water rates. Our recommendation was to keep it steady at this point. We will be meeting Wednesday at 7 o'clock in this room. Town Administrator.
Let's see, just to add on to Bob's about the downtown master plan, we are developing a website just for the downtown master plan itself, and that will be linked to our website, so that'll have information like public meetings, it'll have
Awesome.
a lot of documents that we've already, studies and reports that relate to the downtown master plan that we've already done, that'll be linked into that website, and contact information and all that, so just wait for that to show up, it's gonna be really soon. And the other thing is the Marydale Garden Stormwater Pond, the final plans are approved, and so the bid document should be in later this month or early in May, and construction will be this summer, so we just need to notify the residents that that's gonna happen. It's a pretty significant upgrade of that stormwater management.
Tom?
And toward that end, the court did award the town, issue an order declaring the town the owner of the Marydale Stormwater Management, which is what we needed to continue with that good work. Over the last month, I worked somewhat extensively on the Dorseytown annexation petition. As Peter knows and the mayor, there's a legal issue on that is not clear on whether or not it is legally sufficient, has enough signatures, basically. We've asked for an advisory opinion from the Attorney General's office. Worked on significantly on the town view rails trails documents, which hopefully we're bringing to a close, hopefully. Worked a bit on the Prospect Place development plans and the setback issue that is of some controversy there. Also worked on the SHA welcome sign MOU, which I think has been finalized. I'm not sure if it's been signed, but finalized. And then lastly, of course, we are setting a meeting with IDA's council over the Harrison-Lashire property now that the well testing has been done. That meeting looks like it will be here tomorrow night at 6:30. Probably need just 2 members of the town council present, and the staff members, mainly Heather and Barney, have already notified about.
Is that gonna be you, Peter? Are you gonna be here?
If it should be me, it'll be me.
You've been here for most of them.
I've been the one who's been here since the beginning, so so 6 o'clock tomorrow here?
6:30.
6:30, okay. And anyone else wanna be
Yeah,
here?
I'm actually flying tomorrow night, so I'm not available, but I hope someone else goes.
Well, and Jason, you were saying that you're not available, right?
I am not. I can be if need be, if no one else can attend.
Well, I'll come down then, unless you want to do it.
I'm fine with, you and I have alternated on doing it, so.
So if that's, if that's okay with everybody else, I mean, I'll be here.
Okay, then I'll just
right.
reconfirm that with IDs.
I will see you tomorrow night at 6:30.
Yep. That's it.
All right. I'm going to move that we go into a closed meeting for under 3-305B3, consider acquisition of real property for a public purpose and matters directly related thereto. And including in that motion is the fact that we are officially adjourned when that closed meeting is done. Do I have a second? Seconded by, I'll go with Jason. Larry? Aye.
Aye.
Scott? Aye. Helt? Aye. King?
Aye.
Courier?
Aye.
Okay, we're in closed session. Debbie, I need I was looking for that.